Google has just released an unlimited amount of AI updates. It's going to be a really great time to be an AI enthusiast. So just buckle up and let's get right into the AI updates. Starting off with Google Beam.
Beam uses a new state-of-the-art video model to transform 2D video streams into a realistic 3D experience. Behind the scenes, an array of 6 cameras captures you from different angles. And with AI, we can merge these video streams together and render you on a 3D light field display. With near-perfect head tracking down to the millimeter and at 60 frames per second, all in real time. The result, a much more natural and deeply immersive conversational experience. We are so excited to bring this technology to others. In collaboration with HP, the first Google Beam devices will be available for early customers later this year.
Google Beam is, well, an actual way to get like 3D version of yourself for conference calls. So let's say you use a Zoom or use Teams or any type of video platform. Google Beam has a few different cameras that lets you be more in person for these meetings. So it captures you from 6 different sides and it makes a composite from each different angle of you and then creates like 3D avatar for you to be more present with the person across the screen, and it's vice versa too. So it's like you're really in the moment, which is a lot better than like 2D image of a person when we get across the screen, which is absolutely great. But not only that, Google is integrating a real-time translation for Google Meet. So basically, let's say you are meeting with somebody in another country, but you want to be able to communicate back and forth. Google and Google Meets now can actually give you the real-time translation as you're talking to somebody. They did this demo here.
It includes real-time speech translation to help break down language barriers. Here's an example of how this could be useful when booking a vacation rental in South America and you don't speak the language. Let's take a look.
Hi, Camilla. Let me turn on speech translation. It's nice to finally talk to you.
Es bueno hablarte finalmente. No puedo esperar a alquilar tu casa.
Te vas a divertir mucho y creo que te va a encantar.
You're going to have a lot of fun, and I think you're going to love visiting the city. The house is in a very nice neighborhood and overlooks the mountains.
And today,
and as you've seen in that demo, they were able to have one person speaking English and the other one speaking Spanish, and then go back and forth with each other to give the translation in English to Spanish for the Spanish person, and then Spanish to English to the English speaking person. And they use this as like tour guide type of thing. And well, that was actually powerful on how you'll be able to communicate with people across the country, across the globe, within different languages. And they're going to be rolling out more. Currently, it only supports the Spanish and English feature, but of course, over the next few months, pretty sure by the end of the year, it'll probably be up to like 50 something. That's usually the number that they stop at. By the way, it would really help me out a lot if you give me a like and subscribe on this video, as I'm trying to grow this platform to give y'all more in-depth information on AI and even hopefully to get more tutorials and better content on this channel. Next up, we have Gemini Live, which is
as Project Astra's camera and screen sharing capabilities, so you can talk about anything you see. People are using it in so many ways, whether practicing for a job interview or training for a marathon. We are rolling this out to everyone on Android and iOS starting today. Next, we also have our research prototype.
It's actually pretty cool. They talked about how Gemini Live is actually going to be able to be integrated on your phone, which it probably already is if you actually open up the Gemini app, where now you're able to not only talk to Gemini, text Gemini through the Gemini app, but you're also able to share what you're seeing via your camera or even on your phone using your share screen feature, so it can actually help you with whatever you want to do now, which is a huge game changer because it seems like the theme throughout this whole keynote that they had at Google was basically integrating all kinds of different AIs. So Google Gemini is already pretty cool, but they also stepped up with their agent to agent partners where they already have Mariner, which is their agentic AI, which is really doing a lot. They're now using it with the API, meaning that you can use agent to API in communication. Even using the Gemini SDK, it's now compatible with MCP tools, which is something I believe Anthropic started, but basically this allows AIs to talk to other AIs. I think more correctly, it would be talking to other AI agents and for them to be able to speak and do things on each other's behalf. So let's say you have an AI agent that's a financial agent, and let's say you want to talk to another agent that's more of a retailer. So your finance retailer who handles your money can talk to your shopping retailer that handles your fashion, and they can talk about the pros and cons of different fashion choices, as well as keeping in mind the cost benefit analysis of even having that. They also said that we're getting a new Gemini 2.5 Flash update here coming soon, which is pretty big news because Gemini 2.5 Flash is already pretty good, and it's kind of like a hybrid model at this point in time because it's basically the best lightweight model out there, and for them to begin an update is actually big news. And Gemini 2.5 Flash is also what powers the talking feature within Gemini. So if you ever spoke to Gemini before and had a conversation, you're using 2.5 Flash in the back end, so a better 2.5 Flash is actually pretty good. But Gemini 2.5 Flash was like the lightest weight model they had. I say had because now they have Gemini Diffusion. They said that they developed Gemini Diffusion, their art text diffusion model. Instead of predicting text directly, it learns to generate outputs by refining noise step by step. This helps it excel at coding, math, where it can iterate over solutions quickly. This is, I think, their fastest and lightest model that they have, which they said in the keynote, which is absolutely insane. They actually gave a demonstration where they solved a really hard math problem, and it was done in maybe a second or two. It was really quick. But speaking of 2.5 Flash, I also want to talk about 2.5 Pro, in which they said that the scores on that has the highest ELO, and it's best on Coding Arena and all other platforms right now, which is pretty high up right now. They also said they had stronger security with these AIs. But moving on to the next topic, which is Astra, because basically they demonstrated Astra previously, I think either beginning of this year or late last year, and they have these 3 AI models like the Mariner, Astra, and we thought that Astra was going to be the name of the app. How we have Gemini, we have 2.5 Pro and whatnot, and so we actually seen some of the features kind of roll out from Astra, which is vision capability, their vision learning model. And we're seeing it in the Gemini app when you try to share your screen or you try to use your camera and talk to Gemini based off what you're seeing. In the back end, that's more so Astra, but what they're naming it is not necessarily what they're naming the actual functionality or the actual app. It's just the model that they're using. So if you think about it from a perspective, it's like you're naming like a car. You're not gonna name the car maybe what the engine's called, right? Or what the transmission's called. You're just naming it whatever if you change the name at all. So I think that may have been a little bit of the confusion there, where we thought that we're gonna get a Gemini Astra coming out, but that's not really what it is. And we've seen Project Astra earlier, where it does really good, where it can help people understand sign languages and even speak to just your surroundings, like in this clip here. Check it out. But keeping in line with the models, they also have a Gemini 2.5 Pro Deep Thinking. So this is extending how well these models already do, because Gemini 2.5 Pro is already top of leaderboards. But it said it's a new enhanced reasoning model using their research in parallel thinking techniques, meaning it explores multiple hypotheses before responding. It says this enables it to handle incredibly complex math and coding problems more efficiently. So I think this is definitely for people who are heavy in STEM or have these more so STEM-like issues. And it's a longer thinking model, so it's not going to give you a response right away. It's going to do research on the back end before it actually gives you an output. They say Gemini 2.5 Pro DeepThink gets an impressive score on 2025 USAMO, currently one of the hardest math benchmarks. It said it also leads in Live Code Bench, a difficult benchmarks for competitive level coding, and scores 84% on the MMMU, which tests multimodal reasoning, as you see in these charts here. So they're just rolling out just straight fire on all this stuff. Even with Gemini, they said that they're going to be able to connect their Project Astra model, which shares their screen and everything with you, so that you can also connect this to other Google applications. So if you want to share your screen and, well, look at a date for like a concert or some type of sheet that you may have, like a flyer, you can then ask Gemini to add that to your calendar, and it'll be able to do that. It'll be able to go back through like emails and help you be a better assistant by giving you more fine-grained responses based on who you are by using information that you provided. But now we get to, well, Imagen 4 or Imagen 4. It says starting today, you can try Imagen 4 in the Gemini app, Whisk, Google Labs, and, well, they're really good. As you've seen these photos, they have this picture of this dog with his tongue hanging out his mouth, and it's so good with the detail that the dog has slob, which is kind of disgusting, but at the same time really good. Even have this picture of this whales here, but the whales look, well, pretty decent. I couldn't even tell the whale picture would be fake if somebody showed me this. If somebody just told me that this is whales, that they took a photo of this when they were on vacation, I would believe that. And said they will soon launch a variant of Imagen 4 that's up to 10 times faster than Imagen 3, so you can explore ideas much quicker, so you just be rapidly generating images to see what you really want. I'm definitely going to be doing deeper dives on Imagen 3 because, well, it's just freaking incredible. They said Imagen 4 is capable of creating richer images with more nuanced colors, intricate details, and superior typography. So even this image here, you see how well they did the whole outfit, where this is actually pretty intricate outfit where it has a lot of designs, a lot of embroidery with all the jewelry and even like fingernails, but it doesn't look fake. It looks like a high resolution Vogue magazine. Or even with this insect wing, you can see how textured it is, how it's raised and everything. And even at the bottom where they have like this image of yarn, which I think this is a great way to display how powerful Imagen is, because it goes from super hyper realistic but 4K realistic, photo shoot realistic, to natural nature realistic, and then all the way down to pure imagination. They even did one with this bird coming out of the water, this girl who has freckles with a basketball, and she has some graffiti there. But with the bird, you can even see like some water leaking out from it. It's coming out of the water, so it has water coming off of it. So that's a great detail. So even these flowers down here, which looks like it has snow in there. But they even didn't stop there. They have image of this animation of this girl eating some food, and it's in an animated format. Same thing with this car racing in the sunset in the back. Of course, they have this black and white drawing with a dragon at the top, which looks pretty cool. They also have these eggs, which it would be great for branding because it has golden yolk eggs direct from our coop. And since this is all generated from Imagen 4, that means look at these labels, how crisp this label is, which was just generated. It looks like a real life image. This is getting harder and harder to distinguish what's real or what's not. They also have this all-purpose flour, which is another pretty much advertisement, and then they have one at the bottom for San Francisco. Looks like a postage stamp. It says Imagen 4 can capture specific elements from your prompts, the fur of a capybara, the brushstrokes on a canvas, reflection on bubbles, and the delicate crystal surface. So you even see they have a capybara, this painting, so it's not even just a normal painting, but somebody painted it, and that you can see different elevation changes with the brush strokes and how the paint kind of stacks on top of each other. Even little reflections on the bubbles and even crystals kind of stacking up, which is insane if you ask me. Of course, you can create comics with this, which they have some examples here, but I'll be doing a deeper dive in this. I'm just super excited about Imagen 4, but I may be more excited about freaking VEO 3 or VEO 3.
This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
They left behind a ball today. It bounced higher than I can jump.
Oh, what manner of magic is that?
Which is insane. They say VEO meets audio. With VEO 3, their new state-of-the-art generative video model, you can add soundtracks to clips you make. Create talking characters, include sound effects, and more while developing videos in a range of cinematic styles. So as you see with this person who's smoking a pipe, but outside on the beach and they're talking. But even these two people who are at a train station in front of these cops, and they're looking like they're like spies talking to each other. It has the audio, and the audio is all AI generated as well. So it's not only good images, it's good video and good audio. Even with these paper mache birds flapping together and how it created the sound by understanding that this sounds like a whole bunch of paper moving around. That's what it did. Even this dynamic zoom where it's this freaking silver city and they're doing like a zoom transition. They said from capturing real world physics like the movement of water or the look of sound on walking on the snow to lip syncing. This is crazy. VEO 3 is great at understanding what you want. So just talking, sound effects, noise, water, everything. And I will also be doing a deeper dive on that, so you should definitely like and subscribe. It says VEO 3 is available today for Ultra subscribers in the United States in the Gemini app. Find out more about it if you want to, which kind of went into the next conversation. They have now two tiers. They have the Gemini Pro and they have the Gemini Ultra, which is like $200 a freaking month. Insane, right? But that Gemini Ultra gives you like super access, higher rate limits on everything, and basically if you want to be a beast, that's what you probably have to get. But not only that, they also did better music creation where they partner with more people, more artists to get their take on the music generating side of everything. So they said they recently expanded access to their music AI sandbox, which is their suite of experimental AI tools for professional musicians powered by their latest model, which is Lyra 2. It has been here a while, and basically it's like Suno but Google, right? Without, I think, the talking aspects. It just really does different genres and sounds and moods really well, so more so for the instrumental part of that. So with Lyra 2, you can compose fresh instrumental ideas, craft vocal arrangements, or a simple breakdown through like a creative block. So if you're a musician and you're like, I can think of a little part, but I need some little inspiration, Lyra 2 kind of has you there. Even going into some of the ways that people have been using the music in Imagen and using VEO 3, there are like some short films that people have made, which is absolutely stunning. Check it out. As you've seen there,
I don't know if I'm on the right path, but I'm trying to find it. I'm questioning, searching, and then something shifts and I'm not trying anymore. I'm just doing. And all of the pieces start falling into place.
It all feels pretty clear in my head. I see these like flashes of possibilities, almost like I'm traveling through dimensions.
I'm looking down at myself and my characters in these different worlds, and it's almost coming to life on their own, even though I know I'm in control of that narrative. It feels like it's almost building upon itself at some point. You know, you could have an infinite amount of endings to your story.
So the work isn't built brick by brick by brick. It blooms like a spontaneous garden. It grows naturally, fully vibrant and complete.
I'm not forcing it. I'm just finding it. And that's when I know I'm in the right place.
They, well, did so much in such a little time with that. But not only were they able to create short films with Google VEO 3 and Imagen, which were what I was really excited about, they also rolled out new hardware. They're partnering with Samsung to create freaking VR glasses and goggles that will be coming out later on, as well as these glasses. And these XR glasses are freaking cool. It's basically like the Ray-Bans that Meta has, but Google. You know, it has like even through display where you can see and talk with the world. It has memory where they was going through the back of the Google I/O event to see what everybody was doing, and they showed the coffee in the beginning of the scene, but at the end it was still able to remember. It's able to even give you like a head display for like directions, trying to walk certain places. Also, they were also able to do real-time translations from different Indian languages, which was pretty cool. The demo didn't really do too well, but I see where they were going with it, and it may work better in person once they get our hands on that type of thing. We being the community, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough money for Ultra, these headsets, and just everything they have to offer. They also said like they have these AI extensions like with Gemini that's coming into the web browser, so you can basically share your screen with the Gemini without having to go to AI Studios. It will be able to kind of do more stuff with it. Same thing with like Google Lens is more powerful because it has AI enabled into it. There's also AI mode where you can share your screen and like talk it, and it's basically like Astra but in the web, where you can also keep it on longer, so it'll be more of a conversation. So they gave an example like if you're cooking or doing some homework and you need it right then and there, you don't have to necessarily go to the app. It's already a part of the AI mode. So it's just another destination where you can have these capabilities at, and it's freaking cool. It's really freaking cool. I believe what's behind the AI mode in Gemini is 2.5 Flash, if I'm not mistaken. But these are all super cool, super powerful models that they have there. Even one of the things that they have within the web is a freaking try-on. So you could take a picture of yourself in the clothes that you want to wear, and it will show you hypothetically what you'll look like with the clothes on, which is absolutely amazing. They also talked about Flow, where it combines just all the AIs, kind of the text AI, where in the Imagen and VEO, where it combines all of them into a way for creatives to really be able to do everything. So you can start with just brainstorming using like the latest AI, where it just talks back and forth so you have a good idea. Then you can create images with Imagen 4 to kind of get of like what you may want and how the scenes will go and progress. Then you can feed that into the new VEO 3, where VEO will actually generate the video, but then you can also cut out certain sections of the video that didn't fit what you really had in mind, or you can also extend if you're going in the right direction and you just want Google VEO to just go further. And that basically wraps everything up. The Google glasses and the Project Mohan, which is what Samsung will be releasing, which is like that's coming out later on this year. That's kind of what surprised me the most, but I'm super happy about VEO 3 and Imagen 4. This is a huge announcement from the Google team, and I'm looking forward to doing deeper dives on all of these. If you want to keep up with the latest and greatest AI news, you should definitely like and subscribe. That being said, your boy Dex9 Dexter out.